All right, so today I want to talk to you about overcoming imposter syndrome for good. um, Here's what I mean by that. I'm talking about you having a strategy, having a tool, you proactively working on your relationship with imposter syndrome in a way that it stops being this thing that holds you back. It stops being this thing that is in the driving seat of your career. So it makes the decisions about how hard you work or how perfect you think everything has to be. It makes the decisions about how much thinking you think you need to do. It stops being the thing that decides that you should play safe and not go for that opportunity and not post on LinkedIn, not be more visible, not attend networking events where you might be the only one, or you might find it difficult or challenging because you don't feel you relate to the people who will be there, or you don't feel connected to them. Stop letting it be the thing that drives how you talk to yourself in a really negative way. And instead, you just make the decision, because that's all it is. It's a decision that it's not going to be like that anymore. And what this episode is about, what this session is about, I want to invite you to just entertain the idea that overcoming imposter syndrome for good, by which I mean having the tool and the strategy to, whenever it comes up, because it will come up, to know that you will always be able to overcome it. It is available to you right now. It is literally a decision you can make today. And then on the back of that decision, what you'll feel is momentum already moving you forward to be taking the action that gets you to that place, gets you to a whole different relationship with imposter syndrome, where it just becomes one of those things that you know is going to crop up just as a reminder to check in with who you are. That's how I like to think about it. It's a reminder of who are you being right now? Who are you? Who are you in this new environment? Who are you at this new level? Who are you doing this task that is different or you might not have experience in? Who are you in this relationship? So you having the way you view imposter syndrome as just that almost wonderful, kind, gentle reminder to check in with who you are. And therefore, when you're able to see imposter syndrome in that way, you then knowing exactly how to answer that, exactly what to do in any scenario when your imposter syndrome is triggered. Okay, all right. I'm laughing because that wasn't the introduction to this episode that I wrote in my notes, but that's what is really the driver behind why I'm focusing today on talking and telling you about confident Black lawyers. The reason is because this is what's available to you today to change that relationship with imposter syndrome, to stop it holding you back. In fact, to start to build a relationship with it where it becomes the thing actually that gives you the confidence to succeed. Why? Because when your imposter syndrome is triggered, if every time it's triggered, you are reminded to step into who you are, to remember how capable you are, to draw on the experiences and the accomplishments, the challenges you overcome, all of those things that have shaped you into who you are. If imposter syndrome becomes the thing that reminds you of that and puts you in your highest state of capability, it becomes your friend, it becomes your strength, it becomes an asset in your work, in your life, versus what it might feel like today. And Confident Black Lawyers is the program that I've created to get you to that place, to make that a reality for you. And I'm so excited to share it with you and talk to it in this episode. Okay. Now, obviously, this program is called Confident Black Lawyers. I did create it for all the Black lawyers. Two things about that. If you are not a Black lawyer, you will still find value in what I teach on the podcast, in my emails, if you're on my mailing list, in my posts on social media. So I want to encourage you and reassure you that I speak to these principles outside of Confident Black Lawyers, so you can still get some value from following me and from what I teach. I'm telling you that because I don't want you to, I know a lot of you follow me and you're not black lawyers, and I want you to know I know you're listening, I know you're watching, I know you're finding what I share valuable and useful, and I just want you to know that you are so very welcome to these sessions. And I'm so glad you're here, and so glad that what I teach and design specifically for black lawyers is also valuable for you. Yeah, I'm delighted by that. Now, if on the other hand, you are a black lawyer, whatever level you are at, I want to invite you to join Confident Black Lawyers. And I'm going to be talking you through what it is, what you get out of it, why it would be worth joining, and exactly what to expect when you join. Because I see this as being I talk about it as like the foundational, the fundamental program, the fundamental work. I use the word fundamental. What I'm talking about here is I see it as being the key to your success at every stage of your career. As a junior, of course, everything is so new. You are not only battling like getting used to being in a law firm environment or a corporate environment, you're also getting used to that, like the pace of that, the competition of that. Like a number of you will have been used to being perhaps top of your class or one of very few, big fish in a small pond. And now you're in this like enormous ocean, and there are a lot of really high achievers around you, a lot of people at your level who are also, they've come from that similar experience. They've also been top of the class, right? Or excelled in their area. And what that means is not only are you encountering a corporate environment for the first time, if you're a junior, you're also encountering or seeing yourself differently next to all of your peers, right? And seeing also what is ahead of you, the people who are above you. And that can be intimidating. That can be a lot. And for sure, it can be a trigger for imposter syndrome. You questioning, do I belong here? Should I be here? My success is down to luck. I'm a fraud. I'm going to be exposed. Or even just, of course, as a black lawyer, and I say just not to undermine it or belittle it, but just the very fact of you being a black lawyer in an environment which is almost certainly majority white, what that means is the questioning about whether you're in the right place, whether you belong, the feeling excluded, the looking up, not seeing any role models and thinking, well, I can't be who I can't see. The imposter syndrome that comes from how you're made to feel as a black lawyer in a white corporate environment. So it's 100% absolutely for you. And what I want to offer, if you're further up in your career, that confidence is going to play in at every level. It plays into your confidence in what you do and how you do it, but so critically, it plays into all of those areas which you need to find time for, need to focus on in order to progress, all of those areas that are so critical for you moving up. So being able to receive feedback, you need confidence to receive feedback, to ask for it, to implement it, and not make it mean something about you. You need confidence to be visible, to become known. You need confidence to create your own brand and position and showcase that. You need confidence to showcase your value, communicate so everybody knows exactly how valuable you are, exactly what a great job you're doing for your clients or how much they love you. They know how much you are contributing and what your value is. That requires confidence. And interestingly, at the higher level of my programs, Be the First, where I'm coaching mid to senior level lawyers who are looking to move into that GC position or moving into that partnership position, right, from senior associate or counsel, moving up. What I see so much, what's holding you back is the confidence piece around those progression areas. So Confident Black Lawyers is there to serve you at the junior level, at the middle level, at the senior level, and at the top level, I want to add, because those rooms will just get whiter and whiter. And even at the top level, there will be moments, there will be situations, there will be politics, there will be circumstances that make you question. Maybe question whether you belong, question who you are, doubt yourself in those moments, even if you have confidence in your ability, your knowledge, there inevitably will be, by virtue of you being a black lawyer in this world, moments when you question. And that's what Confident Black Lawyers is for. All right. Now I've given you my introduction that I didn't prepare, but that comes from the real passion and excitement for getting this program out to you. Now I'm going to turn to my notes and focus on the specifics of what I wanted to share with you in this session. Okay, so I want you to think about Confident Black Lawyers as you imagine or contemplate or reflect on like yourself joining it, what you will get out of it, why it is the best next step for you. I want you to think about it as a confidence building program that gives you confidence in who you are. So it's going to very specifically speak to really your relationship with yourself, how you think about yourself, how you see yourself. That piece, that's how we're building confidence. Not building confidence in something you do. A lot of you know you are good at what you do, but you don't feel that in your environment. You don't feel that when you're put under pressure. You don't feel that when you're standing next to your peers, right? So what this does is gives you the answer to that, which is to build confidence in who you are, so that no matter what the circumstances, no matter how high pressured the situation or what the achievements of your peers are like or who they are and what they're like, no matter what, you will always be confident. So you will be able to walk into any room. You'll be able to speak to anyone. You will be able to take on any problem, knowing that you have the capability to problem solve, to think critically, to find solutions, to figure it out. This is confidence in who you are. It's the difference between, if you imagine a toolkit, it's the difference between having a screwdriver, which is a genius tool, a screwdriver, right? If you have a screwdriver, there are so many things that you can do with that tool that you can't do if you don't have one. I know, I've sometimes used a knife before, like if I'm trying to turn a screw. Bear with me, this is on topic. But a screwdriver is a very useful tool. But as soon as you need to do something that doesn't have that sort of thread bit or that cross bit that a screw would normally have, as soon as you need to do anything else that doesn't require a screwdriver or isn't designed for a screwdriver, then that tool becomes like practically useless. It's redundant. It doesn't work in every scenario. It doesn't work for any and every situation where you might need a tool and a bit of leverage. In contrast to one of those multifunction, I don't know why my brain's gone here today. It's not like I do DIY all the time. I do it sometimes. But think about one of those multifunction tools that has, I don't know, it could even be a Swiss Army knife type thing, where it has a screwdriver and it has, maybe it has a pocket knife blade and it has a can opener and it has a nail file and it has all of these different things in this one tool. And that's what Confident Black Lawyers gives you. It gives you the one-size-fits-all version of confidence that you can apply in any scenario. And that's what I want you to think about, how I want you to think about this program. And the beauty of that is when you've got the tool, you can apply it in any scenario. You're going to be performing. That's what enables you to perform to your potential. Yeah, you're not going to be held back by all the things you think you don't have or aren't the right fit. You're going to have everything you need. Okay? So who it's for every black lawyer. I've explained to you that because at every level, you will need confidence. It will become whiter. And you can't be too confident. I'm going to speak to that in a moment because I know that a lot of you have reservations about, well, what if I'm too confident? I don't want to be cocky. I don't want to become arrogant. And actually, I'm going to speak to that right now. What I want to say to you, if that is one of your reservations, is, first of all, just notice how you can be someone who lacks confidence in themselves or knows that they experience imposter syndrome. And then the minute you come close to having an opportunity, finding the thing you've been searching for all these years to actually be more confident, that thing you've wanted so much, the minute you get close to it and you see it and you're offered it, you suddenly go, oh, but I might become too confident. Oh, but I might become cocky and arrogant. I better not. Just notice if that's what your brain offers you. And just notice how extreme that is to go from, oh, I wish I had more confidence to, oh, no. But if I do something like Confident Black Lawyers or I work on my confidence, then I'm going to become cocky. Just notice that. What I want to offer you is there are so many levels of confidence that you can reach before you're anywhere near becoming arrogant or cocky. And what I want to offer is that they are on two different trajectories. They are two parallel lines. Confidence does not lead to arrogance and cockiness at a certain point, because arrogance and cockiness is about your thoughts about being your thoughts of yourself in relation to other people. So being arrogant or cocky is so much more about like thinking you are more than or superior to, versus confidence in who you are, which is all about a grounding, a certainty, a core strength, that allows you, and I've talked to this before, it frees you up to be selfless. Actually, it frees you up to stop thinking about yourself, being in your own head, worrying for yourself, needing other people to feed you bits of gratification, feed you compliments, tell you you're good enough. Like actually, when you can find that confidence in yourself and you're so grounded and sufficient, you'll never be cocky or arrogant because you'll be too busy thinking about other people and having the bandwidth to think about how you can serve, how you can show up better in your work. Yeah, that's what's on offer. That's the trajectory that you will be on when you embrace and start doing this work. So I hope that answers your fears around being cocky or being arrogant. Okay, so what Confident Black Lawyers does is it helps you to anticipate imposter syndrome. So it helps you to understand it. That's probably the first thing. Understand how it shows up for you and all the different ways it's holding you back in your work. And it teaches you to anticipate when it's going to come up. And then when it comes up, gives you the tool for overcoming it. All right. So this program is ideal for you. I'm coming back to my notes because I want to make sure I cover these crucial points so you know it's for you if. So you know it's for you if you're a trainee, if you're a paralegal, if you're a junior lawyer, because as I said, there are those challenging early years. You've got less experience, you've got less knowledge, you've got that transition to work, which can feel hard. And of course, as a black lawyer, you've probably got transition to a whiter world than you have ever been in. Yeah. And as I said, it's perfect for you higher up in your career when you want the confidence to progress. All right, so here's what you're going to get from this episode. Number one, understand why building confidence is so important. Number two, you're going to understand how Confident Black Lawyers, how I've designed it to help you build that confidence in who you are. The third thing you're going to get, very crucially, the important stuff, is I'm going to tell you exactly how to join. And then finally, I'm going to be really explaining, getting you to think about why today. Like, why today and not waiting till tomorrow? Why today and not waiting till the new year? Why today is the time to get started? So you don't waste another day doubting yourself. You don't waste another day overworking or overthinking, and you get started on this journey right now. All right. So aside from the confidence bit itself, here's why this program is just so important. It's going to get you out of the problem. I talk about, and I notice this so much, people they get stuck in the diagnosis. And this might be something that you've done over the years. It's the getting stuck with the, do I have imposter syndrome or don't I? Don't tell me I have imposter syndrome. It's not that. Maybe it's just self-doubt sometimes. Or the problem is with the firm or with the organization and you guys need to fix yourself and it's not about me. And there's this whole narrative, dialogue, conversation around like trying to diagnose what the issue is so that we can get it right. There's almost a kind of, I want to say the political correctness of not wanting to call it imposter syndrome or avoiding calling it that. And here's what I want to offer. I don't want to impose on you the idea that you have imposter syndrome. The way I speak to it and the way I describe how it shows up and those symptoms are really just information for you to decide if you relate to that or not. That's one part of it. What I want to offer you to do so that you don't become one of those people who get stuck in the I'm holding myself back, I don't know what it is, or something's holding me back, I think it's self-doubt, but is it imposter syndrome, I'm not sure. So that you get out of that diagnosis, the stuckness there, and just move on. I want you to just start taking action to move yourself forward, to feel more confident, to start progressing, to show up to your potential when you know you have more, or you know you're being undervalued, or you know that there are things or ways in which you're not performing to your potential. I just want you to get on with making progress. That's what I'm in the business of helping you do, is to progress, is to help you get out of your own way. So let's not get caught in the diagnosis. Let's not get stuck in the problem. Use this session as the moment when you just decide, like, there's only one decision to make. Do I think this program will help me? Do I think it will make me more confident? And if the answer is yes, and confidence is something you want, I'm going to speak to that in a moment, then the decision is made for you and you can start moving forward. It is such a relief. One of the first things that my clients say to me when they sign up to work with me in one of my programs is, oh, it's so good to just feel like I'm moving forward. And I see and I watch you light up as more ideas come to your mind and you start seeing more possibilities, and it's almost like we've released the brakes. I think that's what I call it, releasing the brakes, because you've been traveling along with your foot on the accelerator and your foot on the brake at the same time, and then deciding you're going to move forward and doing something is like releasing the brakes and actually feeling like you can start moving properly without all that friction. Okay, so that's what this episode is going to do, which is so much like it's an additional value to telling you about the answer to your imposter syndrome and how joining Confident Black Lawyers is it. In addition, and what I love about Confident Black Lawyers is it gives you just one solution. I don't know about you, but, well, I'm going to say I don't know about you. That's actually not true, because I speak to a lot of you, so I do know about a lot of you. But one of the things I see, it's one of the things I hear, it's one of the things I experience in also different areas of my life, and I'm very mindful of it in my work, but it's like the quantity of choice that we have. The number of solutions that there are we could try, the number of tips there are, bits of advice. And what I want to offer is just how amazing it is to have just one solution and just go to work on that solution. To go to work on it, give it a chance to work for you. That is such a relief. You can just tune out so much noise just by deciding this is what I think is going to be right for me. I'm going to go for it. It's so freeing. Again, it's going to propel you forward, create momentum for you. And then another thing is the value of actually just knowing exactly what to do next. I think that's really important when you use up so much bandwidth in your work, in managing the relationships, in managing your boss. Like, it's so great to just have a process that you can follow and go, right, okay, this is the next step. This is the next step. This is the next step. So you're not trying and stopping and trying 50 different things. You're no longer on this kind of endless quest for the secret or the magic wand. You just pick something. You pick this program and you're like, I'm going to give this a go. I think this is going to give me exactly what I need. And you go and you find out. It's such a relief to start moving forward. And then the final thing I want to add as a sort of real value add for this program, as a solution for you, right? As a way forward for building confidence, is it's built for you. I take great pride in the fact that I have you in mind. I had you in mind as I created this program. And the idea is it's all laid out for you. All you have to do is open your phone, click on a video, and you can listen to the next session, the next training. It's 8 minutes long. Brilliant. It's done. Right, what happens next? And it literally will tell you where to go next. It's all done for you. So you don't need to waste bandwidth or effort figuring out, okay, well, what's the next step? How do I do this? How do I incorporate it into my life? It's all set out there for you, okay? It's a proven process. This is the other point. So it's not just like it's done for you and I've set it all out. It's a process. And as you'll see when you join, I walk you through every step. Okay, so that's given you I want to say the bonus bits of valuable bits. The core bit of value is the confidence you get as a result of doing this program, right? But all of those other elements are the bonuses as well. It's going to mean your experience of building confidence is going to be so much easier, so much more accessible, and so much more enjoyable. It's just such an enjoyable way to learn. Yeah. Having me in these videos, walking you through every step and being part of this wider Black community of Black lawyers, which I'll talk more to about in a moment. Okay. So let's sort of just slow down and speak to where you are right now. You're a Black lawyer and you've worked hard to get this far. Wherever you are, I know you worked hard. But you know something is missing. You wish you were more confident. And you know that if you could just be more confident, there are so many things that would be different about your day-to-day experience of being a lawyer, how you would feel, how you would show up. You know that work would be so much easier and less stressful and more rewarding, wouldn't it? If you were more confident, how much easier would it be to show up in this environment, which is already very demanding and competitive? So I want you to imagine, I want to take you there now. I want you to imagine about the version of you that is confident, like what you would be doing. I love taking my clients here because you almost never go here. You spend a lot of time focused on the things that are missing and the lack of, but not so much time really being in the dream of, okay, this is the confident version of me. And it's not just about dreaming for the sake of dreaming. It's about you starting to see yourself as a confident person. We're literally starting this work on building your confidence right now by doing this exercise. So I want you to imagine being the confident version of you and how when you sit down to a task, you sit down to do it, you just get it done and you do it in good time and at the highest level without getting tied up in making it perfect. I was just talking this morning to a client about how much time she's losing in trying to make everything perfect. That wouldn't be you. When you're given a piece of work, you just get to work without all the overthinking and the panic and the procrastinating. The confident version of you doesn't get stuck in your own head worrying you don't know enough or aren't experienced enough or articulate enough. You can genuinely, objectively assess the knowledge required for the task or the experience required for the task, and you can access that in your own brain, or you know exactly who to ask. There's none of this stuck in your own head and procrastinating and getting worried you don't know enough. When you're in a meeting and you know a question's coming, you can actually be present. You can recall the information that you need. You can contribute your ideas. You can speak with experience without panicking, right? Or worrying like you're going to get it wrong. All of this you can do because you're so confident in who you are. You have that core confidence. For those of you who are gym fanatics or you like to work out, you know the importance of the core, right? The core holds everything together. When your core is strong, everything else can work. It connects everything. It's where your biggest strength comes from. So that's how I want you to think about confidence in who you are, is you having, my kids are always competing over who's got the biggest six pack. It's so funny, but it is literally the version of that. Like, you've got the six pack. So you can do anything. It really is like that. That's what confidence in who you are does. It gives you the ability, you access your own capability, but you also, part of that capability is knowing who to ask and where to go, not being afraid to ask. So the confident version of you, well, you can also receive feedback, negative feedback, without making it mean something about you. And instead, you can actually look at that feedback and decide and evaluate and choose what you're going to implement and what you're going to leave behind. Like, that's confidence. You being able to seize an opportunity that comes along without needing to be absolutely sure you're 100% qualified. That's confidence. That's what the confident version of you can do. Yeah. Walking into a room full of people who are different to you. Not being intimidated. Noticing, for sure, but that never being a reason why you can't connect with people, why you can't build relationships. That never being a reason why you can't stay. The confident you is more visible, is more vocal and demonstrative about your value, always willing to include yourself. You proactively progress. So all of these are just some of the examples. These are the results that my clients get from building their confidence. Yeah, being able to respond. Like, this is key. It's not just about the confidence, the career progression piece. It's also about how you respond to being Black in a white world, how you respond to the Black experience, how you respond if you experience microaggressions or racism. It's the difference between responding to them versus reacting to them. All of this, I've just given you so many examples of what comes from one single thing, and that is confidence in who you are. And I want to add, like, that's a long list of things. I want to add, or rather invite you to consider, what would it be worth to you to have just one of those things? For one of those things to be different in your life right now? What would it be worth for you to just have the confidence to be visible? What would that change in your career? What would it be worth for you to have the confidence to know that it doesn't have to be perfect, and actually know when it is good enough, that it's of a sufficiently high standard, and that be enough? Like, what would that save you in terms of time? What would that save you in terms of anxiety? What would that save you in terms of stress? What would that save you in terms of just general self-concept, the way you think about yourself? If you knew you were someone who could get on with the work and do it to an excellent standard and know it didn't need to be perfect because, well, you're confident in who you are and you're able to access the capability that comes from that to produce great work. Just one thing, one of those things I've listed above, what would that be worth to you? Okay, a couple of what I call the confident Black lawyers. In the program, I talk about it as the philosophy. And what I mean by that is it's just a way of thinking about the world, which you also learn in this program, which is going to be so powerful. It's a way of thinking about imposter syndrome, what it means. It's a way of thinking about yourself, yourself and your identity. It's a way of thinking about being Black in a white world, so the Black experience. So I offer you a philosophy of life, if you like, a way of viewing the world as a Black lawyer that empowers you, will serve you, and that is the groundwork for building confidence in who you are. Let me explain. One of these key philosophies that I teach and that you will learn and you will start to see when you join this program is that imposter syndrome is not a problem. It's not a problem you need to fix. I know that's how you may have been used to thinking about it or hearing about it. It might be how your brain offers that you should think about it because of how it feels when it's been triggered. But what I want to offer is that it is going to come up, and it coming up is normal. Nothing has gone wrong. Either it's coming up because internally you've had some experience that makes you question all the time. So like it feels for you like you are an imposter, like you are a fraud, like your success is down to luck. This is an internal thing for you. Like it's going to come up in that way based on the experiences you've had. Or it comes up environmentally because of where you are, because you're a lawyer, Black lawyer in a white world. I wouldn't say it's always going to come up if you're someone who's always stayed in their comfort zone, never left their home environment, never put themselves out there and into a different world. I'm not saying imposter syndrome always comes up for every single person, but for you, as a Black lawyer working in a corporate world, it is highly likely, most likely, you will encounter it at some point in your career. And so once we know that, we can accept that, we can get out the diagnosis of that. Okay, we can know that nothing has gone wrong. It's not remotely surprising. It's not remotely surprising. I have had the experience of being the only Black pupil in an all-white school, and then the only Black student in an all-white university, well, one of a handful of Black students it was at Cambridge, and then one of less than a handful. I mean, I'm trying to remember when I was more than one of two, like Black lawyers in meeting rooms. Yeah, or in conferences. Like back in the day, you did not have rooms full of Black people. It's literally much more modern and recent. Has not been my experience when I was working in a corporate world. So it's not at all surprising. Even if like it needs to be better, it's still not surprising. So understand that it's not a problem you need to fix, okay, at all. I want to just invite you, as I said at the beginning, to think of imposter syndrome as an invitation, like as a reminder, as a questioning, who am I? So when it's triggered, every time you face a challenging situation, your brain wants to go to, oh, I don't belong, or they are like this, I'm not, who I'm not. Every time your brain wants to go there, to just remember, like, this is just a question. Your brain's asking you, who am I? And what that means is, it's such great news that overcoming imposter syndrome only requires you do one thing, and that's answer that question. Who are you? Who are you? Now, up until now, subconsciously or consciously, you've been looking outside of yourself for the answer to that. And this is why you've been getting stuck. This is why confidence remains elusive, is because you're looking to other people to tell you you're good enough. Other people, or even things, right? Even past achievements, to just go straight to those and try to get that answer, who am I? Like, to get that from other people. No one else can answer this question for you except you. So stay with me. Imposter syndrome, when it's triggered, all it is your brain's like registering that you're in an environment where there's some difference, like you're perceiving that difference. And the brain's going, okay, so who am I then? If all of this is like this, all of these people are this, who am I? And all you need to do is answer it, and you answer it by looking inside of you. Inside of you is where you already have everything you need. I came across this, I read this in a book a couple of years ago, and it was, I don't even think it was set out as a quote, but it just jumped off the page at me. Everything you need is already inside of you. What if that were true? I want you to stop for a minute and just think, what if that were true? And I want to offer to you that is 100% true. And all you need to do to find that, to discover that, is remember who you are. Remember who you are. And here's the interesting thing. I think you already know this. I think you have that pilot light inside you and have an intuition, an instinct, a feeling that there's so much more inside of you. And so what I've done with this program is I've created a really practical, tangible way for you to find that, to access that. That's the key. So overcoming imposter syndrome is that simple. It really is you answering the question, who am I, by remembering who you are. Now, here's what I want you to expect. Your brain will want to resist this. It's going to tell you this won't work. It can't be that simple. It will tell you to look for practical tips, because remembering sounds too vague and non-committal. And how do you even do that? And even if you're willing to do that, right? Even if you've got like, okay, I'm going to buy into what Caroline says and I'm going to remember who I am, like, how does that actually work? And how is it going to give you the confidence to speak up in meetings and win a training contract or be promoted to partner? Like, I know these are the questions that you will have. I've written in my notes, your brain's going to scream to you, yes, but how do I do it? And the answer is simple. You need two things. What you need is to discover who you are. So before you can remember who you are, there is so much that I want to invite you to discover. Because we forget the amazing things that we have achieved. We forget the obstacles that we have overcome and what it took. And we also add some interesting interpretations on our experiences and on our past that don't serve us. So the first thing you need in order for this solution to work for you, in order to remember who you are, and that be how you overcome your imposter syndrome, that be what builds confidence in who you are, is you need the discovery process. Let's call that. We're all lawyers, so you know exactly what I mean by that. This is practical work. The delving in, the exploring, the reflecting on who you are. Like, honestly, more than anything, I just want to offer you that Confident Black Lawyers is such a beautiful opportunity to reconnect with yourself, to actually build a relationship with yourself, one of such admiration, of such respect, of such compassion. to really connect with that version of you, which will not only build confidence in who you are, but it's also going to give you access to feeling so much more fulfilled and connected and motivated and empowered in your work. That connection with you, because that's something we all lose. So that's the first thing you need, is you need the discovery of who you are. And then the second thing you need is just the ability to be able to recall that. Remember who you are when your imposter syndrome is triggered. In other words, when you're on the job and you want to go to overwork or overthink or play small, right, or self-sabotage, it's literally when you're seeing that that's what's about to happen, you've been triggered, and you need a tool to just recall that you who is so capable. The you that you discovered when you were doing that discovery work, what you need is the tool to be able to recall that version of you, the most powerful version of you, the capable version of you, anytime you need it, every single moment you need it, whenever imposter syndrome has been triggered. Okay, so it's the ability to connect to that version of you. There's finding that version of you and then being able to connect to that version of you that is just so powerful. And this is what I want to offer. You don't even need to figure any of this out for yourself, because this is how I built Confident Black Lawyers. This is what I've built it to do for you. You just follow my process. So it's all put together for you in this program. Okay, so here's what you get in Confident Black Lawyers. I'm laughing because when I get very excited and I'm talking about this, I start to sort of levitate out of my chair. Confident Black Lawyers, here's what you get. You get a proven process, that discovery process for remembering, connecting with who you are. And then you get a practical tool. It's called the imposter speech. Why is it called the imposter speech? Because it's what you say to yourself when your imposter syndrome has been triggered, and it's what will help you. It's the tool it's your recall tool, right? Your confidence tool. It's going to recall the who you are, the remembering who you are, that capable version of you. It's going to recall it, make you feel that version of you in the exact moment when you want to feel confident. And then what's going to happen is when you feel like that and you go to work from that place as that capable, as that confident person, every work output that you produce is going to feed your confidence further. It's going to build your confidence and trust in who you are. And then that confidence is just going to compound every single time you do it. Every time you show up to a task or to a challenge as that version of you, every output that results from that is going to make you more confident. This is how confidence is built. It's built from how you think about yourself, the state you can get yourself into, that capable state, the remembering who you are, and it's built out of the action you take from that state and the results that that action creates. And so what you get in Confident Black Lawyers is the process for that, the discovery process. You get the tool, the imposter speech, and what I give you is actually the step-by-step practice for building that confidence, basically for using this tool in the real world, using your imposter speech. It's so good. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, but when I say you get the tool, the imposter speech, what I mean is I help you build that. You don't have to go away and do it like just by yourself and make it up. I walk you through every section of that speech so that it is the most potent, most powerful reminder of who you are and how capable you are. So if you're a Black lawyer and you want confidence in who you are, I should say if you're a Black lawyer and you want just to be able to sit in a meeting without being terrified that you're going to be asked a question, or you want to just be able to go into a networking event and not feel like you don't belong or out of place and know that you can connect with anyone. If you are a Black lawyer and you just want to be able to sit down to do a piece of work and get on with it instead of get caught up in your own head and procrastinating through fear of not knowing enough, not being experienced enough. Yeah. If you want any form like confidence to do any version of that, to stop holding yourself back, then this is the program. I invite you to join it. This is the program you want to be in. And it doesn't matter, as I said at the beginning, what stage of your career you are at. If you are a Black lawyer, you are a trainee, you are a paralegal, you're a junior associate, you're a partner, you're a head of legal. You can even be an aspiring or future trainee or even a law student. You can do this program and find so much value in it. It's never too early and it's never too late to build confidence in who you are. All right? So here's what you get when you join. You get immediate access to the 5-step confidence building process, okay? And you get access to that for 6 whole months, and you can work through it at your own speed. It's a digital program. You can go as quickly or as slowly as you want during that period. You get entrance to the Confident Black Lawyers community. That's where you can connect with other people on this journey. You get 20 live coaching calls over the 6 months, right? Which is amazing. It means you can come to one of them, you can come to all of them, you can come to none of them. This is literally just to support you on your program. So you will have access to me. I will crop up in the community chat page. I will, of course, be leading the majority of these coaching sessions. Right now, I'm doing all of them, right? They might change as my team grows, but you have access to all 20. You can just drop in. And if you don't want to go to the sessions or you can't make the sessions, you've got a private podcast, access to a private podcast, which is a recording of all of those coaching sessions that you can listen back to, so you never have to miss one. You will get that extra learning just by listening to the replay. There are some downloadable worksheets for 90% of the lessons, I think, have this optional. Again, you don't have to do it. It really depends on how hands-on you want to be. But like downloadable worksheets to make the sort of exercises or the thinking that I offer you more practical for you if you like to not jot things down on paper. And then this is actually one of the things I'm most excited about, because as the program, like it's a new program, it's very exciting, but as it grows, like you're not going to want to leave. You're going to want to have access to these exercises, to this training on an ongoing basis, especially as I'm going to be like adding different mini trainings as I go along. So it's just going to, being a member of Confident Black Lawyers is just going to become more and more useful and such a great resource for you that I add to all the time. And the great thing is at the end of this 6-month program, you can, having done that 6-month program, and only if you've done that 6-month program, you can then subscribe and become a member of the Confident Black Lawyers Club, where you just pay a monthly subscription to keep having access to all the materials and all of the coaching and all of the downloads and all the private podcasts. So good. Okay, so it's great for any black lawyer at any stage of your career, okay? Because the further up you go, right, the more you will continue to need that confidence to keep progressing. All right, last but not least, why you need to join today. If you are a black lawyer, whatever stage in your career you are at, here's how I want you to think about the decision to join or not to join Confident Black Lawyers. Every day that you are stuck in the diagnosis, stuck in the problem of whether or not you have imposter syndrome, whether it's you, whether it's your environment, whether it's them that need to change, or whether there's something you can do inside of you, but every day that is still undecided and unclear, is another day when you are overworking, overthinking, playing small, and sabotaging yourself in some shape or form. It's another day of letting perfectionism really undervalue you, because the way you're showing up, the way you're delivering, the way you're working, you're taking longer on task than you should, which is costing the firm money, which is something they care about, how efficient you are, how effective you are. You're trying to make things perfect, which is causing you anxiety and stress. You are procrastinating. It's another day of procrastinating more. It's another day of letting opportunities pass you by. It's another day of saying, oh, I really need to be more visible. It's another day of feeling really undervalued and disappointed and let down, because others aren't seeing your value. And the reason they're not seeing your value is because you are not communicating your value in a way that they can see it and they understand it. And that comes from uncertainty in who you are. That comes from a lack of confidence. That comes from you needing them to tell you you're doing a good job. You needing them to reach out and tell you you're right for an opportunity. Every day you're not working on building your confidence is another day where that stays the same, and another day where perhaps your white peers are progressing ahead of you. It's another day where you're constantly anxious and stressed and just working all of the hours. At the beginning of this session, I talked about how confidence is the key, how it is the key to so many things, like so many of the areas where you are getting stuck and holding yourself back in your career right now. And isn't that a beautiful thing to know that you can work on one thing and the impact it have on so many different areas. The impact it have on how you see yourself, the impact it have on how you communicate, what you communicate, how you show up, how you approach your work, how quickly you get to work, the quality of that work that you can produce without obsessing over it and needing it to be perfect. Confident Black Lawyers is going to calm everything right down. It's going to make you feel so grounded. It's going to make you feel so trusting in who you are that your brain will finally be free to do what it knows how to do, to solve problems, to evaluate situations, to read the room, to show up to your potential, to see the opportunity and seize that. Like, it is going to create so much safety in you that you can go out and succeed in what feels like an environment where you don't belong, but actually is exactly where you're supposed to be. So join us. Join Confident Black Lawyers. I'm so excited to open the doors. I cannot wait to welcome you inside. This work, as I was recording these videos and putting this program together, I kept, at the end of each day, I'd like go out and I'd say to my husband, I'd say to my kids, oh my God, this is going to change so many lives. This program is amazing. Not because I'm amazing, but because of how it has been built from what I know, the areas where I know you're getting stuck. It's going to answer so many of the questions and the struggles that you are facing. And even if it doesn't feel like a struggle right now, what it's going to help you do is go up to the next level. Wherever you are now, having the confidence to progress to the next level is absolutely key. And you'll find it all inside Confident Black Lawyers. So join us. You get the coaching program, which consists of the course, the live coaching, the Confident Black Lawyers, the community, okay? All of those coaching calls. I already mentioned the live calls. Yeah, all of that supporting you to be more confident. All right. It's been great speaking to you today. Thank you for listening. I cannot wait for you to join. There's a link in either the show notes if you're listening to the podcast, or it's in the comments if you are reading the blog, or if you're accessing the video of this on YouTube, it will be in the captions. The link to join. You can literally sign up right now, today, start moving forward and building your confidence today, so that already tomorrow you will be further along. That's it from me. I will see you next time. Bye for now.